Hello and welcome to another edition of Micks Mowers. Today's job is going to be quite simple actually. I've got a petrol hedge cutter that needs to be sorted out. It needs to be fixed and then it needs to have the blade sharpened and greased up, so that shouldn't be a problem, but we've just got to fix this issue it's got, and the issue it's got is no HT lead cover on it, so he says it's not working because of that, but hopefully I should be able to just push that back on with a bit of luck. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's get on with this petrol hedge cutter. Right, and here it is. So it's a foreign make, a Shindua. So not quite sure where that comes from. Probably Chinese or that sort of manufacturer, I would say. And as you can see, the HT lead tap has been taken off. I think he took it off because I said to him originally he just wanted a service. So I said, well, just tell him what spark plug it's got in it, and he's pulled that off, and this has all come off together. So first thing to do is just literally just thread this back on. It should literally just tap into that side there. I may have to take this apart very quickly just to get this section out, so I can feed it all back together. Right, all I've done so far literally is just take this apart, just slid this out, took it apart. So that bit's got to go onto there anyway initially, because that's going to have to go back on at the end. So that literally just pulls on through. Yep. Let's put a bit of a natural bend in it, make it a bit easier. So that goes onto there. That piece there can come off for now. And then all I want to do is just get in here and grab hold of the clip piece that sits inside. It sits inside there, you see it? Just get hold of that where I can and just tease all that back, just so I can get a purchase on the wire to put it back on this HT lead. Right, I think I've got it. Just a bit fiddly, that's all, but once it's in place just push it down so it's on there, and then that piece sits over the back. That's then got to come up, and very gently, without putting too much force on it, that all goes back into its little tiny hole. Let me just get a pair of pliers and just to encourage it in. Like that. Right, I think that's got him. Just tidy him up a smidge, and that's just going to sit back on top like so. So I'm hoping that's got it, and the only way to do that is to see if it'll fire up. So he said it was all working, and we're soon going to find out. So a bit of choke, there's only fuel in it. Before we do anything, you can see fuel in there. I'm looking for a primer bulb, would be good. There's one down there. Yeah. Stopper's down at start. It made a noise. Bit more of the old petrol, a bit more choke. Doesn't have a more revs. Okay, so that's fixed that little issue. It's got to have a new spark plug, new air filter, all that sort of good stuff, and then I can get onto the blades. But I just wanted to give it a quick double check, take the covers off of it, and give it a quick blow off with the air compressor. So just undo this top, and then give me access to. Need to take this off and be a bit careful because that's how he broke it. That's better. That should all come apart, hopefully. Yeah, it all comes off. Lovely jobbly, lovely jubbly. And as you can see on the top of this carburetor, it's all absolutely filthy. So that's all be blown off and get a new spark plug in it. So let me fire the old compressor up, and then I'll go and get the new spark plug as well. All right, let's get the spark plug changed. There she goes. So the spark plug coming out is a BMR6A. A new one going in is an Oregon 776-1, which are exactly the same thread length. So that's perfect. So that's in. Let's get the compressor fired up and let's just tidy this lot up. Alright, let's get it cleaned up. Better. Get a clean bit of rag. Still got this stuffing cold. Just does not want to go. Okay, next got to renew the air filter. That's very simple. These just look tiny, silly little foam filters in here. They're nothing exciting. There it is. And again, let's give it a bit of a clean up in there. Careful not to introduce anything into here. Right, all I use for these filters are just the lawnmower foams, which I just cut to shape. It's twice as thick as the old one. Put a little hole in it, drop it down, and done. So that'll do a job. Right, that's that bit done. That's all been blown off. I'll do a bit more compressing around the side of the tank here. It's dirty around here as well, just to knock some of the old dust off. Okay, I'm pretty sure that this one doesn't actually have a gauze on the inside of a manifold. I'm pretty certain. Some have like a flashback arrestor or spark arrestor on the inside, and this hasn't got one, so there's no sense in taking the manifold off, the exhaust manifold off, to clean that out. But That would have been a job to do sometimes with a strimmer or weed eater, as the Americans call them. Start to bog is because there's a metal gauze inside here, but there's not one here. I can see that. Right, let's put this casing all back together, and then we can get on with a sharpen. Right, that's all back on. Put the old spark plug back on. Let's just try and fire that up. Just make sure it still runs. Bit of fuel. Choke. Take it off the choke. Okay. I will also be checking the fuel pipes on the carb as well, but they're not leaking. Normally after the season's ended, the fuel pipes will perish in here, but they're not. They're in good condition, and there's a filter. There's actually a filter on the bottom of the hose as well. I don't know if you can see inside there. There's a filter there as well, so that's all good. Right, so it only come in originally just for the blades to be sharpened. So let me figure that out. That's it, that way around. So he wants me to sharpen the blades, which are not too bad anyway, and then I'll just be taking off the bottom of this just to inject some grease in there. So I might just do that first, just to get the grease in where it needs to be. Rightio, so let's start uncracking these. So this is just your normal sort of a DIY shop bought hedge cutter, or your typical thing off of eBay that you would purchase for not a lot of money. And this bloke actually uses this as a professional saw as part of his day-to-day work, so it's good to see it coming in for a service anyway, because they all need it. Let me just run these nuts off and then we'll open it up. Right, with the nuts undone, you can now take this off. Comes with a little tiny gasket seal as well. Very, very careful. As you can see, there's not a great deal of grease in there. In fact, there's next to none. So I'm going to clean this area off, and then we'll just pack this full of grease. All these little tiny bits and pieces of it, they all lift off. Let me try and get something just in there just to tweak that up, just so you can gain a bit better access in there. The teeth will then come out as well, all the gearing. That one then comes out, which is a bit fiddly. But we do. I know we do. It's just getting hold of it. There it comes. And all that does is the front gear runs on that cog and the back gear runs on that cog. That's what it does. Right, I'm a bit of a tidy up in here. Bit of a clean up. Bit of a air compress. Get rid of some of this old grease and we can pack it with nice new grease. There you go, that's all nicely cleaned out now. As best I can get it. I'm only going to be putting more grease into it, so it's not the end of the world, but just use a very, very small screwdriver just to take out some of this old grease. That all have metal filings in it and all that sort of lovely stuff. So that's what you got to do. Like that. Okay, so let me start to reassemble it and start packing it up with this nice new grease. Alright, and let's just start to put some new grease in. It's a bit of a messy job, but someone's got to do it. And just start to pack it in. Any excess will spill out anyway, so I'm not overly concerned. Well, that should be enough for now. Give a wipe off. And then we had top gear cog. Give that a bit of a clean. And that literally just sits on top. The shaft, give your blade a bit of a wiggle up and a bit of a turn, That'll sit into place in a minute, which it doesn't want to. Nearly there. It's only because the teeth have moved it ever so slightly, that's all it is. Just have them back out again. Once you got it, it'll just drop in home. It's just because of that tooth there, that's all it is. That's all the way home now. So much happier. Okay, next it had a little tiny gasket, which is this one. And that just sat on there like so. Hands are so greasy you can barely work. And then backing plate, give that a clean. Come with a little tiny metal collar, which is that one there. That sits in there like that. Put a bit of grease on there, just to run some in. Just fill in all the areas where it needs it. It will find its way anyway. It will find its way where to go, so don't be too concerned. That doesn't want to sit up in there. So a little backing plate. It goes on like so. Followed by this top plate. Just goes on like so. Take my gloves off, because that's now the greasy part done with. And just reintroduce these new bolts back into the relevant holes. And that's all the all the little bolts put back on. Just a general wipe up, and that's that done. I've also got to do a grease nipple just here, just to run into that gear cogs. But I've got my grease guns in the shed. I've just got to whip it on quick and just pump some grease into there. But that's not a biggie. I'm going to clean my hands up, then we can get on doing these blades. Okay. Just had a sneaky cup of coffee, which is yummy. Right, now next thing I do is sharpen these blades, and all I do, literally, is I just get a hedge cut on the end. I get a G-clamp. I'll just clamp that to the table. That just stops it from moving, and just gives you a bit of a free hands to work with. So that's just going to clamp about there somewhere, it'll be fine. Fix that to a table. I might go a bit higher up. I'll get it past that nut, would be good. Yeah, perfect. Do him up, and just so that secures the machine to a table. Go the right way, it might even help. That's it. That ain't going nowhere now. Now, all you've got to do, very simply, bring the teeth back in line together. Once you get them near enough right, I finally get a screwdriver or something and just put it in between the two, like that. Do it in all areas, and that just brings the teeth right where they need to be. Okay, something like that. Now all you're looking for, let me bring it down just a smidge, just so you can see exactly what's going on here. Now all you're looking for on these teeth is you've got an edge here. Let me get a little pointer. So
So you can see you've got an edge here, an edge here, and an edge here on the top and also on the bottom. So there's 6 edges to grind or to brush to get this nice and sharp. So it's 6 on each tooth, top and bottom. All I use is a grinder with a sanding disc on it, and just literally you just try and keep it to the factory spec best you can, and just tidy them up. So you've got a lip here. That's the bit you want to get rid of. That's burred over, you see. So that isn't no good. So and there's one over here also. It's burred over. So that's the bit you're trying to get out. Okay. And this tooth here is very, very square. So let me get a few done and I'll show you what it looks like. Right, that's the first side done, and as you can see all the blades have now been reprofiled, ground off. I use an angle grinder. It's quick and easy. You can use a metal file and do it by hand if you wish, but I find that the angle grinder does a much better job. As long as you're very, very light and very, very careful, that's no problem at all. So I'll just set you up so you can see me do the other side. It doesn't take me long, especially with a grinder. Right, you ready? Bit of noise. So now you can see both edges have been done, nice and sharp as they should be. And then all I'm going to do is undo this G-clamp and turn it over. Hedge cutter the other way around. You can now see the back edges I've now got to just take off here. You see? So let me get that done. Okay, so as you can now see, blades are all now nice and sharp, nice and tidy, front and back. Right, let's put it all together. Right, now it's all been put back together. Let's just make sure we can run it up, it all starts, and also that the teeth all rotate as they should. Bit of choke, bit of that. Fantastic. That looks like another job jobbed. So what we've got to do with that, with the grinding of the teeth, is just go very, very careful, a little bit often, and just keep to a profile. That's the best I can say. If you go too much, then you're going to end up knacking the teeth up. Right, I've just tried it out on my Hedge over the far side. Just a quick little zip, and just done some of it, not all of it. So that all works quite well. So just for giggles, I thought I'd try and start up my old strimmer
This is my own personal trimmer I use. German make. Just want to see if it starts. It's not been started since November. No, there's only fuel in it actually. That'd be even more of a giggle if there's no fuel in there. Oh, there's fuel in there, I can see it. But this has never let me down, this one. It's been a real good little strimmer. Let's just see if it'll start up. On to start. Chokes at the back. Some of that. Let's just see. That little strimmer has never ever let me down. I bought it for £25 off some fella on Facebook. It's never once let me down, and that's been sat since November, and we're now February, and it started within 2 or 3 pulls. Well chuffed. Will not be selling that one. Okay, so another good little fix. The HT lead is now done. New air filter, new spark plug, and general grease up inside the gear mechanism for the Hedge cutter, and the blades all now sharpened. This is a nice little quick little turnaround, and it's what I like to do. Get them in, get them out. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Micks Mowers, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon. Catch you later.